Hi, so do you remember the previous pot we made? The previous pot that had a flat base for a coil. The base can determine really the shape of the whole profile of the pot you want to make. This one became very level like this, but here's a different one you could make perhaps, and I do like this because it's very round. I like the roundness of this, it feels nice in the hands. This one is very sharp here. You may like that, but you may want to make something that's nice and round like that. Really organic, something I feel that comes from nature. It reminds me of an acorn, it reminds me of a pine cone, it can even remind me of fruit like a pear. I really do like that shape, and so I'm going to show you how you would make this. Now you can see that this clay here is dark, and you can see that this clay is light, but in fact it will all dry eventually the same colour, and you would never know that this was two separate parts perhaps. But then maybe it's nice to have it that way. Certainly you could paint it maybe, and then you wouldn't tell the difference. The first thing I'm going to show you then is, before we had the two guiders and we rolled the clay out with the rolling pin, and then I took the disc and I cut around it. So in the same way I've done that again. I've taken a shape and put it on the clay, and I've cut around, and I've got this disc here. This is my flat disc. This can be soft clay, it can be more leathery if you wish. This is quite leathery clay. I like to work with leather clay because it's makes sharp shapes, very clean cut shapes, you know. Now we're going to make this shape here, so we need to press it into something to form the shape, and anything you use is called a former. I noticed the other day that I found this coconut, and I really do like this shape. The thing is as well is that you need something that's more like wood for this. You don't want to use plastic, you don't want to really use metal, and you don't want to use anything like paper, because it will either stick or it will turn to a mush.
Could you use a ceramic bowl?
You could use a ceramic bowl, yeah, but I think you could use a wooden one.
Why is wood better?
Why? Because it stops it from sticking. I find the coconut's amazing. And yeah, I would buy a coconut, and I would eat the coconut just to get down to the bottom of the shell to make this pot. I really like the idea of this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this disc, and what you do is that you need to really find a shape that fits the shape of your former. If you make the disc smaller, it'll be too small inside here. I found this that matches the top of that there. What I want about, say, 3 centimeters space from the top. I don't want the clay to be over the edge. So if this was bigger and came over here, then we know then that when you press this in, it could be too high. Maybe you could try that. But I'm going to go like this anyway. I'm going to take this coconut and I'm going to place this on here, and I'm going to press this on the inside like so, like that. And I want you to, really nice feeling, and I want you to press down gradually, and you will find that that flat disc will make you a ball shape like so. Okay? Fill any holes, you can do that. Fill that in like so, and keep pressing, keep pressing.
What's in the bag?
Clay. That's clay that we're going to use in a minute. Keep your clay wrapped because you don't want it to dry out in the hot weather. So the first thing you'll do is that you've now got this shape in the coconut, and you've formed this flat shape like so. And then what you'll need to do is you'll need this wall here very neat. So perhaps take a tool and trim away any bits of clay like so. Take those out like that. So the first thing we're going to do, if you remember, we took the flat base and we got a stick and we scratched around the rim, and then we used the glue, the slip, and we painted the slip on, and then we added the first coil, which is there. This is the same way. What you will do is, now I'm going to use a bit of water here because my clay is a bit hard at this point, but if you're using soft clay you'll be okay. So I have some water here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to just use a bit of water and lightly soften this rim here. Not too much, just a little bit to soften it when you scratch it. And then you get your stick, and what I want you to do is, on this inside wall here, I want you to scratch like you did with the flat base. So we scratch around, and then scratch it in a cross shape like that, and you'll pass that all the way around that flat surface on the top, like that. And that'll go all the way around, like that. Like so, and then we smoothen the inside, and then we're going to add some of the slip. So we take the slip, and then I want you to put the slip on the cross hatch, on where you've scored it, like that. Just put that on the inside, like that. Put that all the way around. Keep that clean along there. You put your slip all the way around like that. All the way around. And then you get your clay, and we're going to fit the first coil. So what we do is we roll clay like so, like this, and you want a coil that's going to fit the thickness of that wall. So we roll the clay like this, and you need to fit a ring to begin with. And then I'm going to stick this down where I've put the glue on the cross on the top edge, and stick it down and press in, and press, use the top of your finger to make it flat, and use your thumb to press it in and down into the wall, and pass this coil, this sausage, all the way around really neatly, and try and keep it as level as possible so it creates a flat wall. And you pass this all the way around. Thousands of years ago they would have done this in a hole in the ground. They would have found that they could press a hole in the soil, and then they would have pressed the clay into this soil hollow, or like a mud that would formed like, well, the mud would have been like clay. And then what they would have done is that they would have put the base in the mud like this, and then they would start to coil this way, all the way around. So there's your first coil. And what you'll do is you've got a seam line, and what's probably a good idea is if you just rub that together all the way around, because you want your pot to be neat on the inside. So you'll pass that all the way around, like that. Like so, and then you'll make your second coil, and then on this coil you can go as far as you like. So if you take this coil and then you start to coil all the way around and keep coiling around, pass that all the way around and keep going all the way around like so. And then when you get to the top, don't make sure that you don't put, for now, the coil over the edge of the coconut. Make sure you stay on the inside all the way. And so if you're going all the way around and you get to the top here, make sure that you just go inside all the way up, all the way around, and then you will find that you won't end up with a ledge. And if you keep